The Ottoman Empire's harem, a subject which, while evoking images of scantily dressed women, also deals with power, prestige, war, tradition, and ultimately the fate of an empire. Historical records from the West, particularly from the time of the Ottomans, are often skewed and biased. Frequently inaccurate, as very few Europeans ever had first-hand experience with the Sultan's private world. Actually, that isn't quite true. There were a significant number of Europeans, Africans, and Caucasians who were deeply involved with the imperial harem, though rarely was this a willing or mutually beneficial arrangement for them. The Ottoman Empire was a very complex, multicultural, yet deeply traditional society. It should be noted that the Ottomans didn't invent the concept of the harem. As the latest in a long line of powerful empires in the region, they inherited many practices from their predecessors, including the Byzantines and the Persians. The empire was established under Islamic rule, and the Sultan held the title of Caliph, protector of the faith. The Ottomans were also profoundly influenced by their conquest of Constantinople, the heart of the old Byzantine Empire, which they eventually renamed Istanbul. This city became the new center of their world, and its traditions were absorbed into the Ottoman court. The harem, located within the sprawling Topkapi Palace, was far more than just the Sultan's private quarters filled with concubines for his pleasure. It was a highly structured institution, a world unto itself where power, prestige, war, and tradition were deeply entwined. This secluded domain was the very heart of the dynasty's continuation and a silent battleground for political influence. Far from the simplistic Western fantasy, the harem was a place of immense complexity, a structured society governed by strict rules and hierarchies. It was here that the fate of the empire could be subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, shaped. Within its gilded walls, women were not merely objects of desire, but were often key political players. There lives a constant negotiation of power and survival, the typical image of scantily dressed women, languidly waiting for the Sultan's call, barely scratches the surface of a far more intriguing reality. This was a world of intrigue, sophisticated politics, and, for most of its residents, a life of slavery. The women of the harem were not just chosen for their beauty. They were selected for their intelligence, talents, and potential. Most entered the harem as slaves, captured in war, taken in raids, or purchased from slave markets across the empire and beyond. They came from diverse backgrounds: Circassians from the Caucasus, famous for their beauty, Slavs from the Balkans, and even women from Western Europe. Upon entering the harem, they were stripped of their old identities, converted to Islam, and given new Turkish names. Their education was comprehensive and rigorous. They learned the Turkish language, the principles of Islam, and the intricate etiquette of the Ottoman court. Beyond that, they were trained in various arts such as music, dance, poetry, and calligraphy. This wasn't merely for the Sultan's entertainment. It was to cultivate them into refined, intelligent, and cultured companions, capable of engaging in conversation and running a complex household. Their training prepared them for a life within the palace, but it also equipped the most ambitious and capable among them with the tools needed to navigate the treacherous currents of court politics. At the apex of the harem's hierarchy stood the valide sultan, the mother of the reigning sultan. She was the most powerful woman in the Ottoman Empire, managing the harem's vast resources and wielding immense political influence. Below her were the sultan's favorite concubines, known as cadins or hosikas, who had borne him children. The rest of the concubines, the odalisques, and the servants formed the lower rungs of this intricate social ladder. Advancement was possible, primarily through catching the sultan's eye, and most importantly, bearing him a son. The birth of a prince elevated a concubine's status dramatically, securing her position and power. This created fierce competition among the women, as their own future and the future of their sons depended on their ability to win and maintain the sultan's favor. The eunuchs, particularly the chief black eunuch or Kislarugga, served as the guardians and administrators of the harem, acting as the crucial link between the secluded world of the women and the outside world of the court, and in doing so, they also accumulated significant power and wealth. Nowhere is the power a harem woman could achieve more evident than in the story of Hurrem Sultan, also known in the West as Roxolana. Originally a slave girl from Ruthenia, likely captured in a raid, Her intelligence, charm, and ruthless ambition allowed her to rise from the lowest ranks of the Oi to become the legal wife of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, one of the most powerful rulers in Ottoman history. She broke centuries of tradition by not only becoming his favorite, but by convincing him to free her and marry her. Harem wielded significant influence over the Sultan, acting as his chief advisor on matters of state. She corresponded with foreign kings, commissioned major public works, and played a decisive role in the succession, ensuring her own son, Selim II, would ascend to the throne. Her rise marked the beginning of what historians call the Sultanate of Women, a period of about 130 years where the women of the imperial harem, particularly the mothers and wives of the sultans, exercised extraordinary political power, shaping the course of history from within the shadows of the Topkapi Palace. They influenced appointments, dictated foreign policy, and controlled the destiny of an empire, proving that the harem was not a gilded cage, but a center of hidden power. If you think we are just interested in powerful women from the past, check out our other videos which cover a wide selection of history, from ancient battles to modern revolutions. We cover it all, and don't forget to like and subscribe to A Days of Old Voice in History.